In 2003, the town of Haverford was still reeling from the horrors that had unfolded in the years past. The Johnsons had vanished overnight, leaving nothing but a chilling emptiness behind. But the scars ran deep, festering wounds that refused to heal. I returned to Haverford, now a weary adult, haunted by nightmares of my childhood. I thought I could finally bury the past, but the moment I stepped into the familiar streets, the memories washed over me like a suffocating tide. The diner still stood, its walls adorned with faded photographs of happier times. I entered, the bell above the door chiming softly. The patrons eyed me with a mix of recognition and wariness. "You were one of those kids," a waitress said, her voice low and cautious. "What are you doing back here?" "I came to visit," I replied, forcing a smile. But deep down, I felt the weight of judgment pressing down on me. I ordered a coffee, needing the caffeine to fuel my racing thoughts. As I sipped, a familiar face stepped through the door. Sarah, my childhood friend. "I can't believe it's you," she exclaimed, her eyes wide. But the warmth of her greeting faded as she leaned in closer. "You shouldn't have come back. Things. They've changed." "What do you mean?" I asked, a sense of dread filling the pit of my stomach. "Have you heard about the new family?" she whispered, glancing around nervously. "They moved into the Johnsons' house." My blood ran cold. "What? Why would anyone do that?" "People are desperate," she said with a shudder. "But they say the new family is different. They keep to themselves, and at night strange noises come from their basement." That night, curiosity consumed me. I drove to the Johnsons' old house, its once vibrant paint now peeling and faded. The air was thick with anticipation as I approached, the moon casting eerie shadows across the yard. I could hear muffled voices from within, and as I crept closer, I spotted a flicker of light in the basement window. My heart raced as I peered inside, and what I saw froze me in place. The new family was gathered around a table, their faces illuminated by a single flickering bulb. They were not just eating dinner, they were feasting on something that resembled a meal, but the stench of death hung heavily in the air. Suddenly, a loud crash echoed from behind me, and I spun around to find myself face to face with the family's teenage son, his face twisted in a manic grin. "What are you doing here?" he snarled, his voice dripping with malice. "You shouldn't have come back." "It's too late." Panic surged through me as I turned to run, but the darkness swallowed me whole. I could hear their footsteps behind me, laughter mingling with the night air. I sprinted towards my car, but as I fumbled with the keys, I felt a heavy hand grip my shoulder, spinning me around. "Join us," he said, his eyes gleaming with madness. "You can't escape your past." I fought back, adrenaline surging through my veins, and as I broke free, I could hear the laughter of the family echoing in the night. I jumped into my car, slamming the door shut. But as I glanced in the rearview mirror, I saw them standing in the yard, their faces twisted into grotesque smiles, as if they were welcoming me back to the darkness. The haunting realization struck me the cycle had begun anew, and I could never escape the blood that stained our town. Haverford had become a breeding ground for horrors, and one way or another I was destined to be a part of it. As I drove away, the screams of the past echoed in my mind, and I understood the truth: some monsters wear the faces of those you once called friends, and no matter how far you run, they'll always find you in the end.
If you like this type of videos, please subscribe to our channel. We will upload a new horror and mystery story every week.